bounce now or I cut it off. I made this picture for the community just to see bounce now or cut it off. One of the most funniest memes out here. It's kind of like when prices are down and it's like the world just not reacting to you at all. You're literally just a fart in the wind. And you just like taunt the universe. You're like, oh, I'll cut it off. I'll cut it off. You better do something. And then like you quickly realize the market doesn't care. It will watch you cut it off, which is funny. You can click on Pulse Coin List, the all-time high as well. You have these values. You want to know what's funny, friends? The pDAI value, I think it was actually $1 when it first started. It must have been like the very, very first print. It was like one tiny blip of liquidity. I'm not actually sure about that, but that'd be funny if it was true out here. So you have all these reds, 93, 99, 98, 99. Everything just looks like it's, but I guess the business cycle, friends, as you know, the business cycle has pretty much overtaken everything. That's why crypto, we built this system to be different to the financial system, but it's not different, man. It's really cool. It's upgrade technology and the world adopts it. As the world adopts it, we are now the world. So we're just correlated with everything all over again. That's pretty much what we've seen. I want to show you this as well, friends. This is really cool. So look, friends, I've got videos and stuff. I've made many videos and content to explain to you Stablecoin Supercycle, which is a play on the word meme coin supercycle, but it's actually true. So stable coins, that's where everything in crypto is actually building towards. Okay, it's actually all going towards it because when we made crypto, we made Bitcoin. Bitcoin's meant to be a long-term store of value, the longest term, yeah? And what's the shortest term? It's cash, yeah? So people don't have a long-term store of value. They don't. You can do gold, but it ain't that good, right? So there's no need to make a short-term store of value. That's why Satoshi never like made anything short-term because you already have your bank account. But the short-term, because you keep rolling over the short-term and you keep losing to inflation, right? But what we've done here in crypto is now that we've got the long-term store of value, people, we're like, okay, so first you need the pioneers, the settlers to believe in the thing long-term and not leave. That's Bitcoin in the industry, yeah? Bitcoin, now you have crypto all around it, right? Now you can start to go shorter and shorter down the curve, yeah? Also interesting too, 2024, we saw like a meme coin supercycle hype, right? We're just bringing it further, shorter down the curve, right? With people's willingness to hold, which is interesting, right? Just how people, and it's matching the TikTok brain rot generation, which is interesting. How just the stuff we're doing now, like games are now getting shorter, everything's getting shorter, short form stuff. You know, like yeah, like they don't really like release as many, I guess, Netflix say big movies anymore. The new things like, you know, these is like short 3 to 7 episode bursts of like mad episodes, and you can't really like it's not meant to be like sat for like 2.5 hours. It's kind of like you get in a nice hour or so and then you move into the next one. It's interesting how it's evolving. And then you see TikTok brain rot generation, which is literally just like 15 seconds, this crocodilo thing going on and all these other weird stuff. So remember, if we actually look at the curve, yeah, so if I quickly draw it, friends, let's actually just draw this post. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle here, right? Just focus on the rectangle. Remember, so you have the long-term duration. So this is short-term and the edge is long-term. So what I'm going to do is just short-term is like cash, right? And the right is going to be BTC. That's the longest that we have, right? Longest that we have. So we started with Bitcoin, the early pioneers, and now we're like working our way in with like really, really short-term stuff. Because that's what the world is. Like we always focus on the short-term. So naturally, the bulk of retailer, mass adoption, and everything out there is people in short-term. What do I mean by short-term? It's basically just people just keep cash. They don't save much for a rainy day. And also, wonderful stats to know this, friends. People can actually save for a rainy day, but they have very hard issues trying to estimate inflation. So they've done a lot of stats and tests. People do save for rainy days. They do save. People save great. The problem though is the estimation of inflation. That is because they can't measure exponentials and the money's getting printed against them. You know what, friends, when we're in crypto, you probably think, oh, like if we just told the world the money printer caused the inflation, everybody would like change. They wouldn't change crap. They still estimate inflation incorrectly. That's why you have to force your saving. That's why, okay? Now, all of this, friends, is leading into this cool chart. So this is how SDAI works, okay? So remember, and this is why Pulse are very relevant to PulseChain, friends. So Spark is a protocol. Yeah, Spark, S-P-A-R-K. Spark, made by MakerDAO. I think it's made by them, whatever. It's called Spark Protocol. So May 9th, 2023, it's released, okay? And I'll show this to you on the, let's actually go to the daily chart. Okay, let's actually go to the daily chart here. So we go to 2023. This is ETH BTC, okay? ETH BTC. So we go to May 9th. This is very, very, very important. So we're looking at these days, okay? So May 9th. So right here, here's May 9. Spark releases the protocol, all right? May 9, okay? Then, May 9, the next day, the PulseChain snapshot is taken. Okay, so we have Spark releases right here. The PulseChain snapshot is taken. pDAI is minted on this day. And then 2 days later, PulseChain launches right here. All right, PulseChain launches there. Do you see these, how they're grouped together? Well, that's why we have reasons to believe, I believe, that's not random. Okay, a lot of people think it's random. I think that's not random. I think it looks like Richard was waiting for Spark to be released. Because Spark, if you can see that, you're like, oh, he's really interested in this SDAI stuff. And by the way, you know, he used the funds, you know, the DAI, he bought SDAI first. He was holding SDAI. He earned like a month of yield or something. I forgot how much. And he collected the yield. So he actually tested the protocol. It's actually pretty cool, right? So what is this SDAI? Why is it important? Well, the future of crypto, friends, remember, everyone in crypto, we're in, okay? If you're in, you're a long-term believer. You can't access your liquidity. It's been 4 years and you still can't access it. What does it mean? Prices are low. Yeah. We don't have enough people here to give you the volume and activity to exit. Everything's just like Fugazi trash. There's like $20 of liquidity everywhere. Yeah. We're waiting for the burst of the cycle to come. Now, where's everyone sitting? They're in mainland fiat, cuck land, right? And they're all holding short-term savings and cash and stuff here. Most people, yeah. Because most people are poor, right? Most people are just middle class, low class, poor. So as they come in to crypto, right? We're trying to get them in to gamble on stuff long term. Like, hey, take a punt on this, take a punt on this ICO, do hex staking, whatever it is, okay? It's not biting them, okay? It's just not, okay? Because most of the world who's willing to take on that risk, a lot of the people have heard about crypto already. So now you've got to make these applications and games and tricks to kind of like push them into a square where they can kind of get in. So you're trying like, hey, here's a meme, this thing goes up or whatever. But the bee's knees, the ultimate of all of it, friends, some would say the ultra ball, the ultimate ball of all, friends, is the stable coins. Okay, so the stable coins is the ultimate thing. So when the stable coins accommodate them and they have stable coin, it's because for them it's just like having a US bank account. And then we can get things really interesting because now they're treating their crypto wallet like a US savings account. Then they can spend from that. All right, because right now it's like it's a separate thing. Okay, so now I'm going to explain just this SDAI stuff. And so when you see this, friends, let's start here in this top left, okay? So we're just going to start in this top left. What I'll do is, see, this is you, your vault owner. And then there are fees collected. So pretty much what they call it, remember, that's how MakerDAO works, right? So remember, PulseChain MakerDAO and pDAI, they're broken right now. Obviously, yeah, so that's why the price ain't $1. It's broken now. But obviously the speculation is, can it be fixed? Okay, but how MakerDAO works is you open up a vault. But firstly, of course, the protocol, yeah, it I guess has these, I think, right? The protocol will vote to accept which contract, which is a coin, quite the coin, can be accepted as collateral. Okay, so you put in the address, right? So if it's accepting something as collateral, you can put that coin in. That's why obviously maybe you hope it will accept like Pulse and Hex, which is a P token. One of the biggest P tokens, actually the biggest P token is pHex, friends. Do you know that? So if you could accept those tokens and put in there, okay, then anybody can open up a vault and borrow on their coins. So obviously that's what rich people do. But please, friends, I know we're building towards this. Just like be careful with this because this is how people get destroyed because they borrow too much. Yeah. Then the bear market comes, recession comes, whatever. So let's say you go have 50K worth of your portfolio and your calls today. Let's say it does a 20x and now you have $1 million. You don't want to sell. You want to stay in there. Well, this is what rich people do, right? When they have like real estate and stuff, they don't want to sell. So they end up borrowing on it. So now that's what MakerDAO, that's why it's so powerful, right? Now that's why you can put your, I guess your $1 million in. Now you have $1 million. You can borrow up to, they said like, is it 2/3 of it? Whatever it is. It needs to be 150% collateral. So whatever the ratio is, maybe up to 40%. So maybe you could borrow up to let's just say $400,000 of DAI. You actually get that out. But then you're paying a fee, yeah? Because you borrowed that money, you have to pay a fee. Well, those fees, they accrue. So you pay the fee in DAI and it accrues into the protocol. Yes? And then the revenue goes and gets passed to people who basically support the protocol and hold SDAI. So the protocol gets paid out. So that's pretty much, that's how it ends up flowing out. So that's how pretty much, that's how it would work. Yep. Now, actually, it's funny. This is real finance, yeah? Banks, they're meant to do this, but they don't. Yeah, I thought banks work like this. They don't. Yeah. So how the banks work is when the banks pay you inflation, they're not paying you from their loans that they're giving out. So that's how I used to think. That's why I learned that off Richard Hart, right? That blew my mind. Literally, I was like, I thought he was like, nah, he's lying. I was convinced he's been lying for like a month. I couldn't actually find anywhere. I was looking all over the internet for it. Couldn't find information. It was very hard to read between the lines, but it's actually true. So you would think, okay, the bank loans, the bank's giving a loan out at 10% to this guy. They're paying someone 2%, right? So that guy's actually paying that. Actually, no. The 2% that they pay, okay, it's like, what's it called? Like seniorage or something? Like the government gives them a special authority to print money, to print currency. Which is, and that other stuff is just their profit. I thought, wow, what a scam. I could not believe it. I was like, there's no way that works like this. Yeah, it does. You probably thought, wait a minute, I just thought the loans and you thought it's like the Aave protocol or anything else, like where it's real DeFi. No, it actually ain't. It's totally rigged. They just literally just make everything up. But you can't control anything because like people don't even know this happens because there's never been like YouTube videos and education and stuff out here to really permeate to society. It's just like, who knows about this, friends? Gold bugs. Gold bugs know about this. They've known about this for decades. They've known about this from day one. That's why they're like, oh, the whole thing's just being minted, infinite inflation. See, as I'm holding gold. You can see? So if this is the future of how it works, it would be beautiful because now, remember friends, Somi, your friend Somi here made the term, the crypto's $1 trillion problem. How do you get to keep people in a bear market? Because right now we don't. Well, you got to get them to keep their stable coins in crypto. That's how you do it. You got to get them to hold their cash savings in crypto. Because then the world's their oyster. That's what it is. Right now, crypto is your investment pocket. It's not your savings pocket for most people, right? For all of us, because the liquidity duration is so long. But what if we did have a world where like you don't even have to be in Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the risk assets. You just hold the $1 back stablecoin, right? And you're earning a yield. How epic is that? Then you can just spend your card from there. How crazy would that be? By the way, we can do that right now in crypto. That's the future of crypto. That's exactly what's happening. But no one really talks about it because it was like, oh, it's stable coins, it's boring. The only way in the past to speculate on this growing was to buy Maker's token. Let me show you that. And I used to have Maker's token, but it hasn't done anything since like 2017, friends, when they first made it. If you want to see the real Maker price, like this is, oh man, I think this is going to be brutality, what I'm about to do. I think this might actually be, okay, I'm just going to ask one now. If there are any children in the room, or pet turtles, or pet squirrels, please leave. Let's go look at this. Okay. You've literally gone nowhere since forever. Well, man, crypto friends are just, by the way, if you're wondering like, hey, that chart, yeah, dude, look where it starts. January 2017. My gosh, you're down 30% in 3,000 days. Oh man, 9 years. Crypto's tough, man. It's really tough. So this is it, friends. This is it. This is MakerDAO. It's literally gone absolutely nowhere. Down 92%. Peaked in Feb 2019. Yeah, may as well be the XRP chart though. So yeah. So this is what it breaks my heart, man. Like this thing was so cool that I speculate that Richard is interested in it. I speculate that. And man, it's got a dog ass chart because the governance token, no one cares, right? And look, that's why I think Richard, I think like if the story is setting up, you need something that pumps. And governance tokens are like ass. No one cares. No one votes. Because power is only good when it concentrates. Power is only useful, but it can become dangerous, right? Because like, honestly, do you care about your vote? Like every year, I'm like, I can't bother voting, bro. Just who cares? You know what I mean? Like everyone thinks about that. A lot of people think, not everyone, a lot of people think like that. But imagine you had the power. You're not one vote anymore. You represent like 250,000 votes. Now you pack a punch, right? You represent that. That's like it with these governance tokens. And if retail can't be bothered, getting emotionally excited for it, nothing's ever going to get lifted off. So this token, obviously, this is Maker BTC. It's gone nowhere, but maybe Witchard looked at it and he's like, man, governance tokens are trash. They just don't pump. There's nothing about them. And then like, I don't know, maybe it would be amazing. Maybe we'll never hear about it. Maybe the PulseChain pioneers will one day share with us a magical story for the Highest of Stakes movie part 2, where they reveal to us the early beginnings, or maybe one of the PulseChain pioneers, maybe he's a duck, maybe he's named Greg the Duck, and he explains how he had the idea where he's like, why don't I get the stablecoin itself to pump? That would be the wacky thing. That would be the most epic thing of all. We've never seen that, because think about it. If it wasn't that, friends, then it's just a broken Maker protocol, and then Maker gets fixed and now you can mint your coins. That's all it would be. Now you're probably interested as well. There is a Maker Pulse. This is the Maker Pulse chart. This is it. Having a look at it. Yeah, so it's grinding up over time. By the way, let's use the pulse ratio. I think it's actually doing really, really good. There you go. That's actually good. Let's put it on log chart. Yeah, it's grinding up. That's actually nice. It's up like 12x from that. So you can see, right, doing this, like, obviously what's happening, friends, is people want to take over it. People, PulseChain pioneers, want to control the vote, because once you control the vote, I think you can fix the oracle. After that, you can vote to fix the oracle, set it a certain way. You can also, I think, vote to add a contract address to make it collateral. So then you have big power to vote. Hey, I want Pulse token. I want PulseX. I want pHEX to be accepted. I want the People's Bitcoin, PWBTC. The super scarce, super purple PWBTC. I want that to be accepted in the vaults. And then remember, the whole point of the SDAI is if you put something in the vault, it allows you to mint the DAI to borrow on your accounts. Okay, so that's pretty much, I guess, isn't that cool and nice to see. So obviously, might even ask, what happens when the vaults get minted? Well, what do you think what happens? There's like it's a monetary burst stimulus, because everyone borrows and then everyone goes and just smacks the crap out of all the tokens. Like, look, just imagine this, friends. Imagine, like, I'll show you the website, actually. If we go to PulseX, okay, so what people are seeing, if you go to PulseX here, you're not seeing much now. The yields are low, the yields are tiny. But, like, you can imagine, speculate. If ink is pumped up in the future and the yields on the farms, they're not saying like 9% anymore. Imagine they're saying 60%. Well, if you had $1 million in the vault now, yeah, you put it in, you can grab, like, let's say you don't do the max borrowing. Let's say you grab 100,000 out of it. pDAI is hopefully you grab 100,000 pDAI, which is $100,000. And then I guess the theory is people will naturally go and join the yield farms. So it's about what happens when you join the yield farms, friends. You've got 100,000 pDAI. So you might go, oh, I want to go buy into the maybe the Hex to Pulse yield farm. Maybe that's paying like 60% at the time. So you have your $100,000, you use 50 to buy pHEX, 50,000 to buy Pulse. And this is happening, everyone's doing this. So everyone's hopping in and everyone's joining the farm, okay? And also, people will be smashing up Ink's price itself. They're like, oh, I want to join the Ink and PulseX farm. So that's 50, someone else does a 50,000 to Ink, 50,000 to PulseX. So pretty much you do have this monetary burst stimulus. This is the turbo hyperloop, okay? Because everyone's doing it. So I guess that's how it would play out. That's what brings us up, I guess. And it's just guessing, okay? But you can see why, like, phase 1 is the pDAI thing. It's just without phase 1, there's no stimulus. However, there is, I guess, okay? You have the OA SAC funds. So that's why people, myself, initially believed, I guess the OA just rotates the ETH into the PulseChain prices. So we don't know exactly. That's the thing, friends. So if you're holding the core coins, there are people, there are people that are holding the core coins, Richard Hart core coins, his Twitter core coins now, and then like they're saying, look, whether it's the OA funds or the pDAI route, I believe in the core coins that they'll pump. Okay, so they have less risk. They do have less risk. Okay, but you're saying, but the price is going down. Yeah, but you technically, like in terms of outcomes, you got less risk because you have to worry about less stuff. So, but if you're in pDAI, like I am, okay, you believe that, okay, there are two paths, but we're choosing the pDAI path, where pDAI ends up being the floats are up for phase 1, and then phase 2 it begins at. But here's the thing, because you have more risk, you have higher upside. You are rewarded for that. But also, if it doesn't work out, it goes to 0. You get crushed. Okay, so it's risk reward out here. Okay, and that's why I say, well, I mentioned this to everybody, literally. There are other stuff. I guess there's other stuff he can do. Yeah, the multiplier on the core coins will be less, but you do get a multiplier. You don't get it going to 0. So there you go, friends. In a nutshell, like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you soon.